started with Jim and Dan, or Dan and Jim. They came up with this idea. Probably, well, how long ago?
Oh, 3-4 years ago.
3 or 4 years ago. And they started talking to me about it. Jim, of course, hey, I got this great idea. So really, it was evolved. That was how it evolved, and they started talking about it. We got going back and forth with Zoom calls, and I think really Dan should probably take the lead on this one. How he's best with that.
Well, yeah, and I'm one of the founders, Dan Flora. Nice to see everybody. And you're right. This is Dick. He is the guy who is helping us to launch around the country, but specifically here in Orlando. He's taking a good look at our business systems, which are very important to us because as a grassroots organization, which I'm going to let Jim talk about, you do have to operate a business. And so Dick's been very helpful in that regard. But as far as the formation of it, Jim and I just a few years ago said, there's got to be a way for people to find and share the things they love to do. And that was really where it all started. And so I'll let you kind of dive in.
Yeah, and then we tried to define fun because we had gone out the night before and we had a great time. And it was great. We started talking about how to have fun, and how do you define it? We realized that you couldn't define fun because what's fun to you isn't fun to me, and what's fun to him is not fun to her, and she is, it goes on and on. So there could be a lot of things under that umbrella fun, I shall say. But anyway, and we're proud of this because it has always been our intention to, when this thing goes live, we were going to have it right here. We're starting right here at this place is where we were going to have it, and here we are a few years later, and we're doing exactly what we said we're going to do. And the point is, we're getting some great people involved in it. I can't even tell you how many good people we have involved in PLAGO. And I got two of them sitting right to my left that we've taken on, and I will let them tell you who they are and what they can do to kind of help PLAGO. So go ahead. This is Alex.
Yes, I'm Alex, 24 years old. Actually am a data analyst right now. I went to James Madison University for my education, graduated in 2019. So I did some computer information systems work there, got a really good background, which has been really helpful in my consulting work I've done so far. Jim's actually my buddy Dave's dad, so I've known him my whole life.
Since second grade.
Yep, since second grade to be exact. And he was the one who originally told me about PLAGO.
He was a pain in the neck then, too.
Yeah, that's also true. But yeah, I saw PLAGO as a really cool idea, and it was kind of shocking to me that there wasn't already an app that allows people to go out and find their own activities, travel to new cities, find new places, even though they don't know the city. So I thought there was just a lot of possibilities from the app, and I think it'll be very impactful for the world and all the people who use it. So I wanted to be involved in any way I can.
And he's also got that background that, believe me, he's already adding little things to PLAGO that is going to make this really blossom. And it's interesting. These guys, like David could sell to anybody. There's probably not a better salesman out there. He doesn't even know it yet. But the point is, go ahead and tell us a little
I'm
about.
David. Alex and I actually roommates. We live in Charlotte, but I've actually moved around a lot in my life, and I've realized every time you move, you're trying to figure out something to do in that new area. So I actually love PLAGO for that experience because I've always wanted to. We actually just moved a month ago, and the thing we're thinking is, man, I wish PLAGO was going right now so we could figure out what to do in our area at this moment. But I'm just excited for the opportunity. Like he was saying, hopefully I could sell anything. We're trying to get there, and yeah, we're just excited to start up with the PLAGO thing. But we were also talking about we were trying to do more than just that. We want to do like a PLAGO flag football league. He was actually our old basketball coach, his dad as well. So I've known him since the second grade. So we're just working on ideas, and we're just excited to get this thing going. So
yes, excellent. Thank you. Great. And like I said, we found some of the best talent, and the one is standing right there with the camera. I mean, Manny is phenomenal. We love Manny, and he's doing all kinds of great things. And he's, being a wounded warrior himself, and he knew that was our ambition, is to help the wounded warriors. That's our mission. Veterans. We feel like it's a good match. And as Manny will tell you, I think this is going to help a lot of veterans because they all suffer from that loneliness. And Dan came up with the acronym LIDS, and that means loneliness.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people who suffer from LIDS is what I call it. It's just an acronym: loneliness, inactivity, disorders of some sort, and sadness. Now, I'm not going to get real academic, but in the world of medicine, there are pathologies, right? Things like clinical depression, or addiction disorders, or so on and so forth. We're not in that business. Our job isn't to do rehab, physical rehab for people. But guess what? If you got off the couch and did something, it's rehab, right? So in our case, we're just fighting loneliness. We're fighting inactivity. And the guys, think of three what we call grassroots, sharing economy, social media platforms, whatever you want to call them. It's like YouTube, Uber, Airbnb. What do they have in common? What it is imagine if the guys at Uber got together and said, well, now that we have this car service thing, we got to get a bunch of cars. And then the other smart guy said, no, there's people with cars willing to share their car.
Yeah.
Right? And then YouTube, imagine if the people who started YouTube said, now we got to make a bunch of videos. Well, no. People have cameras. They have, on their phone even. They can just go make videos. That's what we're about. Same with Airbnb. It's like, well, let's get a bunch of hotel rooms. No, people have homes. We're a part of the sharing economy. So I just want to point that out.
Well, I'll tell you, when you think about it, what PLAGO is, it's the Uber of fun, the Airbnb of activities, and the Amazon of adventure. And that's really what, that says a lot. Think about that. To make that bold of a statement, I think you're going to see the encouraged people we're seeing in this area are just, man, they're ready to go. They're ready. And you know what? You should be ready if you wanted to do something like this, because the train's leaving.
I also don't think it could be at a better time, because the pandemic is ending. So people are going to want to go out, and we go out here, and people are just itching to do something, and just, well, it couldn't be at a better time. That's what we're saying.
Well, no, and it's not just back to the wounded warriors, like you say, people that really are sitting there kind of like you want to get out of their house. They don't know what to do. Whether it's even just a single person going or a couple. And what are we going to do? What do you want to do this weekend? We do the same thing. You can't Google what to do. But if you go on to PLAGO and you turn around, you look at categories of everything. You say, oh, I want to do this, or I want to do that. Hey, this is great. You can preview it. You can look at, no, I don't want to do that, but this is fantastic. This is great. And this is this is what I want to do.
Well, and part of that system too is that we're with a good platform has three components, right? The digital, the tangible, and the transactional. And what makes Uber so successful, or even Airbnb and those, is that you find it, you do it, and then other than Jim, you tap 3 times. Just kidding. Sometimes he's our good beta test case, because if
I could do it anyway.
But
and I don't care. You can say what you want.
That's fine. Imagine if you're sitting at dinner and I want PLAGO to become a direct object, like noun, verb, and imagine 3 or 4 couples sitting around. They just had dinner. I think, why don't we do a PLAGO tonight? You open up PLAGO and you say, holy cow, there's a bunch of people bowling down the street and they want other people to go with them. And you just tap 3 times, and 10 seconds later, they get a thing where you show up with your QR code, and you're joining the party. Well, that doesn't happen anywhere. And
hey, we could put together, like we said, Wounded Warriors or whatever, Susan G. Komen or whatever. They could go on, where they could go on PLAGO. You can put it on PLAGO. Like I said, there's nothing else like PLAGO. People go, well, aren't you like this one or are you like that one? No. The difference is we're ground up, grassroots operation that we have not like a couple people controlling everything. It's basically the people at the bottom are they going to make it all work. It's either not going to work or it's going to work. It's going to work because it's going to become a fabric of this, basically of society in a way, when you really think about it.
And if I might add one thing there, Jim, to your point, that everybody has what I call a digital life.
Right.
So, and everybody's is a little different, but generally speaking, come on, you wake up in the morning. I'm old, so I check my email, and I might go on Facebook every few days, and I have the weather app, and this. I mean, everybody has their little digital routine, digital life. Imagine if PLAGO is added to people's digital life, where they say, okay, got the weather, email, Facebook, a couple of other things. Let me just check PLAGO to see what's going on today.
Yeah. Hey, I agree.
Let me just. Our day is done. It's a beautiful thing.
I agree, but what encourages me, like 2 guys like this, like I said, David got Alex involved, and Alex picked it up right away because he's smart. He sees what's coming. you know, he's a young kid already leading a team. A very impressive resume, and the two of these guys together can really come up with, like, give us any interesting ideas that you could see putting on PLAGO. What would you put on PLAGO?
I think one thing that I think would be a great addition as PLAGO becomes more widespread is the ability to have like a profile on PLAGO. So these different events you're going to, you're able to post on the PLAGO timeline, like, here's my experience at this place, it's fun. And this will also allow people that are unable to attend the events to take a look and see, oh, how did this go? Do I want to go the next time, or was I in luck that I blew it off, kind of thing?
To add on to that, just like we had a party last night, a PLAGO party, almost like a live feed, so people can see what's going on at the exact time of the event. Right. So they can see, oh, let's see if we actually want to go to this event right now or not, and see if it's actually fun.
Exactly.
So that's a great idea.
The one thing that really, I think there's 4 aspects here. Anybody that we've talked to, everybody here, including you, you either have at the grocery store, we were talking about it to the checkout girl. You either have someone, they said, I would use that in a minute. That is amazing. That's fantastic. Or 2, how do I get involved in this? I want to do it. And they jump right in. Or 3, how do I invest in this? And then the 4th is that, why isn't this happened yet? Why is this just
Well,
now?
that's funny, we borrowed that example, like, if not us, who? If not now, when? I mean, that's, and I'll tell you what, it is prime and ready to go. This was probably this party this weekend was a terrific time. We met a lot of great people. We had all just met, we'd just been talking virtually, and now the fact that we actually meet in face, it's, you know, face to face is great, because, you know, the country's opening back up and that type of thing, and people are ready to have fun, and they can have it on PLAGO.
Well, and the businesses want to be on it immediately.
Jackass? Oh man, they could use it in every way possible. Find out more people that would like to should be in videos. You can, instead of using all the same guys all the time, go to different places they could find big hills and jumps that they could do.
Put together jackass parties.
Jackass party, literally. I mean, shoot, pull up to the damn parking lot and you can do anything, literally.
In every city, when we open up a new city, we're going to have a PLAGO party. And you can see this is PLAGO of Orlando, but we'll have PLAGO of Raleigh, PLAGO of Charlotte, PLAGO of, you know, the Delaware Beaches area. So we're going to have, we're going to Stuart, Florida after this. I mean, it's growing. It's growing. You want to get on when get on now, because what are you going to gain by not getting on now? You know what I mean? You got a lot to lose out on. So don't do that.
Well, and the engine that's going to drive PLAGO are the PLAGO hosts.
Yeah.
Now, we are a journalistic company in this way. We go out and actively find what's going on. It's hosted by anybody, not just PLAGO hosts. Right. So if someone says, "Oh, I'm doing a skydiving class," or I take people out fishing for $50 an hour, or $100 an hour, whatever, we'll put it on PLAGO for them. Why not? Why wouldn't we? We're helping people find things to do. But the heart and soul of PLAGO are the people who say, I can go on here, I can register myself as a host, and I can say, you know what I love to do? I love to go canoeing, and so I'm going to get a bunch of canoes together, maybe, at an outfitter, and I'm going to put a thing together with a little bit of lunch. We're going to go canoeing, maybe jump in the lake later, and gee whiz, I'm going to put the whole thing together for $40, and you get 10 people who do it, that's $400. Right. So we have our little transaction fees and all that kind of stuff. Hey, Jolene. Hello. And so people are making money as PLAGO hosts as well. So I'm going to go, speaking of parties, I'm going to go greet our guests. So
there you go.
All right.
That's good.